What's up, everyone? All right, so here we are Thursday morning and another green day of trading, up $1,900. So two back-to-back green days, but what's interesting today is that I traded 5 stocks, maybe it was 6, but I only had one good winner, and that one good winner was a $1,900 winner. And all the others were $200 of profit, $200 of loss, $40 of profit, $100 of loss. It was nothing significant. And that's kind of what the last week and a half has been. A lot of small trades. And the problem is that when you have one big loser like I did on Tuesday, that'll wipe out 3 days of small winners. I need to have that $1,500 to $2,000 winner each day to really start to make progress. I did it last week, made about $4,000. The week before, made about $8,000. So even though those weeks weren't crazy good, it was enough for me to be continually making a little bit of progress. And then this week started with no trades on Monday, lost $1,900 on Tuesday, made back $2,400 yesterday, so it was only $500 above break even, and now another $2,000 today. So hopefully tomorrow finishes strong, but at the same time, in this market, it wouldn't take much to go right back down another $1,500. So I got to be really disciplined, trade the best, leave the rest, and stay focused because it is still August. So we'll break down all the trades today in our midday market recap. If you have any questions, any comments, leave below. I'll come back through and answer them later. All right, enjoy. All right, everyone. So we're going to go over the trades from this morning. Another green day, which is great, up $1,965.46. Actually, what am I looking at? $1,965.83. I don't know why I wrote 46, but you know what? I was looking at that right there, the 46. So I'll just fix that. Not that it really matters, but whatever. Just be accurate. So yeah, it ended up being a solid day. Kind of a slow start, though, but it finished well, and I had a couple of, really just one solid trade that made the day. Now, one of the things that I've been dealing with this month is that I've had, kind of the whole month, it's like the whole day is trades like these ones. And I haven't had that one winner that kind of, puts me over the edge and gives me a nice green day. It's just been a lot of the chop, 200 here, losing 200 there, making 300, losing 200, and that's why I've been, as of yesterday, break even on the month, despite it being the 23rd, which is not a good sign, no doubt about it. I only have, 6 days left to turn this month green. So, that's not ideal, but at the same time, it's not the first. It wouldn't be the first time I've had a red month. Obviously, everyone knows that. But wouldn't even be the first time this year. I was red in February, and last year I had 2 red months. 2016, I didn't have a single red month. However, 2016, I wasn't as aggressive. I wasn't pushing it as hard, and so that's kind of that thing that I talk about, that skiing analogy. If you always stay on the green circles, the easy trails, you're probably not going to fall down. But are you really pushing yourself? Are you really growing as a skier? Are you really improving your skill? And if you're having a good time and you don't want to, you're happy with where you're at, then okay, that's fine. If you're at an age where you're worried about breaking bones and things like that, I'm not going to push my mom to go down a double black diamond, right? But, for me, I like to push myself a little bit more. So I kind of felt in 2016 that I was being conservative and not pushing it as hard. And it was kind of, I don't know, I just felt like I really needed to be consistent. And I think I had a month, I had this consistency challenge. I had a 55-day green streak. I didn't have a red day for, I think it was 55 days or 54 days. And so that kind of put this mentality of stay green, even if it means finishing up only $200. It was just stay green. And that was when I started uploading all my broker statements to the website. And, I just felt like a little bit more pressure that, I had the spotlight on me. I just had to stay green, had to be really consistent, couldn't afford to take the risk. didn't want to have a red month, was worried about how that would reflect on me and all that stuff. And now in 2017, doing the small account challenge, starting over with $583, building it up now to 700,000. In 2017, I definitely was pushing it more. I was being much more aggressive, taking bigger size, having some huge green days, and having some bigger red days than I had in 16, but realizing that was okay, and it was okay to fall down, and I would just get right back up. And so I've kind of continued that in 2018, really pushing and being more aggressive. I've increased my starter share size from 2,500 shares to 3,000 shares. So, I pressed that 3 times. I used to be up to 7,500 shares. I press it 3 times now, and I've got 9,000. So, 4 times I've got 12,000 instead of 10,000. So, I'm taking bigger size, and the winners are bigger, but the losers are bigger as well. So anyways, today when I got started, my very first trade was on IPAS. Now, today, like any other day, starts with our job of finding volatility. As day traders, we're hunters of volatility and we're managers of risk. So every single day, we're getting out there looking for opportunity. And so we start by looking at this gap scanner, which is a scan of all the stocks in the US market that are going to open higher than they closed yesterday. And that's because they're already trading on some light volume during the pre-market trading session. Most retail traders don't trade pre-market. We wait for the bell to ring. It's easier to trade. Markets are more liquid. Stop orders work and all that stuff. But when a stock is gapping up 813% pre-market, it's something that you kind of figure, I got to take a look at this and see what's going on. So IPAS was a reverse split setup. This is a stock that did a reverse split yesterday, 10-1. And so actually it was even gapping down slightly, but the scanner looks at it as this was a, 22-cent stock yesterday, and now it's 20 cents, it's $2 today. So it's got to be gapping up 800%. So it's a little bit of a false gap, but it catches our attention. We look at it, we realize it's a reverse split. So on this one, I saw it suddenly start to spike up from 210 to 285, and I got in with 400 shares at 285. I tried to jump in with like the 6,000 shares, but I only filled 400. So I filled 400. It opens at the same price. It taps $3, kind of a seller right there. It hesitates, and so as it resumed, I ended up selling it at 96. Which was a pretty good fill, and then it dropped down to 216, which was really an ugly drop. So I made 40 bucks on it. Then it goes sideways here for a little while, and I get back in over the $0.50 of 250 right here. It pops up to a high of 260 and then drops down, and I lost $80 on that. So that puts me down 40 bucks on that trade total, which is not a big deal. So whatever, that one didn't work so well. Next one was LTRX. This one, you can see not on the watch list, not on the scanners. However, once the bell rings, then we start watching this window here, and this is showing us stocks that are squeezing up right now. A lot of times these stocks are on the scanners, LEJU, and that they're moving up because they were on the scanners, traders are watching them. But sometimes you get a surprise move. A stock hits the scanners like this one, LTRX, and it wasn't on your gap scan, it wasn't on your watch list, it's just all of a sudden taking off. So I pull that up. First thing I do is I look at the chart, and I ask myself, what's the daily chart look like? What's the 5-minute look like? I see it spiking up, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Clearly it just made a move from like 445 up to whatever this is, 478. So I end up jumping in at, let's see, at 475, 477, 466 with 3,000 shares. I take a small trade, I sell half up 8 cents, kind of sell the rest of it for a small profit, make like 150 bucks. I then get back in at 77 and 79, and I'm selling at 83 and 85. Again, this is like a small profit. I get back in, that was PAS, IPAS. Well, hold on. Where was the last trade on LTRX? I guess the last one was getting it at 79 and selling at 83, 83, 74, 75, and 80. So that last trade was basically break even. So my entries here on this were for the break here, and then for the break here. So those were the two setups: pullback and pullback. Squeezed up to a high of 99, and despite that move, I only made $200. So really didn't do very well on it. It was kind of choppy. The breakouts had these topping candles and then came back down. Topping candle came back down. So it wasn't really sustaining those levels, which was a bummer, but is sometimes the case. All right, so that was LTRX. And then I'm sitting tight. I'm only up $160 on the day, and I'm thinking, writing's on the wall. The day is dead. It's done. Probably just going to have to shut it down and whatever. I see RTTR hit the scanners. I look at it. Doesn't look that interesting. Pops up, drops right back down. So no trades. I see OBLN hit the scanner. And it hits once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and I'm like, okay, 5 times. I pull up the chart, I see that there's news on it. There's a headline this morning. So I'm like, okay, that's good. There's a catalyst. I look at the chart, and it's got room up to the 200 moving average. So I'm like, okay, that's a good chart, right? Doing my checklist. Is this a stock that's worth watching? Obviously, the float is 15 million shares. That shows right here on the scanner. It's up 38% on the day. It's moving quickly. And, volume is coming into it in the last 5 minutes. So I see that, and I'm like, okay, this looks like something I'd like to jump into. So I go ahead and jump in at 40 and 40. I get these weird kind of partial fills. I was trying to use a smart route order, and it wasn't really working. I got to look into that. And then I just added with a regular order at 50. I was considering adding at 58. I had my order ready to go, and then I was like, oh, I don't know. I'm in this a little high. It's kind of like 10:30. Maybe I should start reducing my risk. I then added at 59. Took a little bit of profit. Took a little profit, 200 shares, and then changed my mind. Said, no, what? I'm adding on this. I'm going to go for this move higher. It pops up to 86, and I sell half. The high a day was 86. That's awesome. I mean, I don't usually top tick these, but on this one, I literally sold half of my position at 86 at high a day. So that was nice. And the way I was able to do that is just by watching the level 2 and using my hotkey. It pops up, I throw my order out, and I get filled. So that was cool. It then starts to drop back down, and I sell as it's coming back down, and I sell my last share. I ended up with 9 shares, sold them at 41. So in total, that was $1,900. So that was a good trade, and it came kind of out of nowhere, off the scans, but it had a good chart. Everything looked good about it, so it was worth a stab. The entry there was anticipating a break of the $0.50 with a target of 50 to 55, 60, and it ended up just working really nicely. So solid trade there. That was the one that made the day. And then I lost 280 on SLS. This one, it popped up, and I ended up getting in at 16 on this little micro pullback. It hits 18, and then I stopped out at 12. So I only lost 4 cents per share on 6,000 shares. I'm in at 16 and 17 and back out at 12. Whatever. It was worth a stab the way... Oh, I also had this one. So it was worth a stab the way it was starting to squeeze up, but it didn't. I thought it would keep going, but it didn't. AWX was the last one. Someone calls it out and says, hey, take a peek. I looked at it, bought this little 1-minute micro pullback thinking it would go higher, and only made $100 on it. It really didn't hold up, and then came back down. It was kind of a riskier trade, but on the daily chart, again, this one starting to open up and has room all the way back up to 679. So it didn't happen today, but this is a chart that we want to keep an eye on. The problem with this one, in contrast to OBLN, is no news. So it kind of starts popping up, but not a strong catalyst for the move, and that's a problem. So anyways, that's the breakdown of making $1,965.83 in 1 hour of day trading. So a decent morning, and we'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning. So hopefully we'll finish off the week with another green day. I've now made about $4,500 in the last 2 days, so that's awesome. I had no trades on Monday, and then I lost $2,000 on Tuesday, so it puts me up $3,500 on the day or on the week, or right around 3,000 on the week. So it's not, or maybe around 2,000 on the week. It's not the most impressive week right now. Last week I made $4,200. The week before I made $8,000. This week I'm up only about $2,000. So I'm still grinding. It's a grind, but that's okay. Making a little bit of progress is good, and staying in the market, keeping fresh is important. And then when we do see things start to open up, I can always start to increase share size and be more aggressive. Yuri, so in the example of 6,000 shares, I press the button for the hotkey twice. 2 orders of 3,000 shares. I pay $2 per trade with Lightspeed. So $2 per trade. Yep, it cost me $2 for each one of those, so $4 total. But I really don't. I really don't mind that. So Alex, all the trades are right here in this window. So if you rewatch this video on YouTube, as I'm going through and saying, okay, this is where I got in this is where I got in that, you can look at the timestamps here and see where I got in. All right, so anyways, that's it for me. I'll be back at it first thing tomorrow. Students, we've got class at noontime. All right, so we're gonna keep going on Chapter 8, reversal trading and short selling. We had a great class yesterday, and we've been doing about 3.5 to 4 hours a day for the last, I think, 12 days. So we're up to about 36 hours of coursework, and we're only on Chapter 8. We've got all the way to Chapter 15. So you guys are troopers for going through the class this quickly with me, but it'll be really great for all the students who get to watch it when we upload it into our learning portal, because they can go through it one chapter at a time, rewatch chapters, and all that stuff. So anyways, class in about an hour. So I'll see you guys there. All right, bye everybody. If you're still watching, you must have really enjoyed that video. So why not subscribe and get email alerts anytime I upload new content? Remember, when you subscribe, you become a member of the Warrior Trading family.